A young man came to the lost and found window looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write down his name in the form. The young man started writing Hojo as his name, but he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form, wrote a totally different name in another form. Another station employee, a different person, witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into the train heading to Tokyo. The employee from the lost and found, the employee who was on the platform, talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That's the thing. This whole entire tip section does not mention anything about time, but any kind of timing system. Like, two different people saw him, and they talked in the locker room, probably in their break or when their shift was over. That was probably way down the line. And, That's the thing again, because definitely we know for a fact that, the bear was reserved, and, like, stores know that take it seriously. They even give him a paper slip that he used to verify it's you. Or, like, you're the one who, like, kept it reserved so they can pay for it. So either it's the Sonozaki family who takes the bear and off the window just to do this whole entire like little system that explains that they force Satoshi to run away, like as Oishi mentioned, or it could be that some like the fact that maybe doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense that Satoshi like lost his wallet at all like right here because like he was like saving up the money for a while, and I'm pretty sure like before he left home, he would definitely like have the wallet on his wallet on hand and go to the store and like pull money out of the ATM, and then immediately like try to buy the bear because by that point I'm like as Shion mentioned, there was no like there was a small like too small distance for anything really big to happen. A toy store in the post office where the ATM was is too close to be found. It just doesn't make any sense that based on how the looks of how this testimony is going, that first the wallet was put down as missing, and then immediately at the same time, another employee on the same exact shit at the same time saw like whoever this Satoshi lookalike is immediately go into into Tokyo. He has his own bank account, and he took all his money out from it. And there's also the whole fact that Satoshi mentioned before, whether he contradicted himself or not, is something that's weird going on. That he quit his job, but he's going back to like another shift or like another job itself just to grab like his paycheck or like go to another shift. Like he wasn't done with his job yet. It makes no absolute sense from anyone to like forgotten their wallet and then immediately go into the train station because to that point, then it just doesn't quite make sense. Because either way, as I mentioned before, Satoshi's not that kind of clumsy at all. I don't believe that's him, honestly. It honestly feels too perfect for it to be Satoshi himself. It just feels like it's left there just literally just to make a paper trail and just to get witnesses on that. It feels too perfect, honestly. And just digging around even more and thinking about the coach actually being involved in this at all, looking back at other parts he was in, he seems oddly perfect at certain moments. Like he was like a main point of like focus in the like the last installment with the fourth one around the kidnapping, and the whole entire thing of how the kidnapping was meant to be shown off was the whole point of the kidnapping was literally just to put the Hinamizawa dam product into the public eye at a large scale. Even just one small mention of it honestly would make it like push their agenda even more further. It's very subtle actions just to get their plan through and over with. And like that's what it seems the wallet thing all seems to be. I even looked back at like Rika's like forecast back then, and it mentions everyone who technically would die, except for this year with, Tomataki and Takano, but there's no mention of, like, Satoshi at all. But it's completely verified that Sadako's aunt will completely, no matter what, in the same day of Watanashi, have her head split open. It's too incidental whether Rika, like, actually, like, can foresee into the future, or at least has a whole list of the plan going through it. Because even then, she doesn't even like list like different ways of how people like died, technically speaking. Because like what was that? She doesn't even know like Sadako and Satoshi's parents were either pushed or was an accident. She basically just said like it might be an accident. She's sure they will die, but not exactly sure how they would be. Hmm. And especially just looking over this again, just before going straight into the rest of the chapter isn't going to Shion detective mode and all of that. Just looking through all this all over again. Hmm. Bogus. Thinking about how it doesn't feel too far-fetched. And all Sadako Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Satoshi Kun's disappearance. Yeah, it honestly could go to that, but like also just that they started living together just because they're friends. That's literally all it could be as well. It doesn't have to be that someone's like a family, like, pushing onto that and doing all that, because another thing to think about is, as well, continuing on, is that again, extending on toward, like, they already mentioned that small point as well, but the family was fine with just Mion and, like, Shion just being friends with either of them, just not, like, getting a relationship with them, any of them. That was the whole point of it. And, this regular girl, one of the three families, protected in an indirect way. It could be like shown off. It's literally a mop. Again, everything is like perfectly shown off to either be it's all under the family's influence or literally just a friend like Rika Furude just took, Sadako under her wing. Really, that's all it is now. That's literally all it is. It could go back and forth and all that. Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized in the main dam conflict, Sadako Hojo was now under protection, since Sadako was exempt from blame for some reason. And even from Rika's forecast, like, there's no mention of him at all, though. So, unless they, like, change things, like, right there, out of absolute nowhere for him, or, like, something else is going on, then he wasn't part of the plan, then. There's definitely a whole thing of, like, people going missing. Like, even the damn foreman, like, one of the damn construction workers, like, who went missing. There's that. And actually extends my point about it again to Coach, since he technically died, like, from, like, sleeping pills and all that, but that was, like, the day before the entire town died from, like, gas. Like, a gas leak, or, like, coming from the swamp. And since the very first installment brings the whole fact that, Keiichi's, like, thought of him, writing down his note that, we should reinvestigate this person's death because it might be important, that was torn off. So now it feels like there also is a possibility to look into, whether someone actually is dead or not. Because the coach is, like, in almost a perfect position of him being near every single main character, the kids and all that, can manipulate them or influence them in some form or way. And also, he's a doctor of the clinic, and he was the one who took care of him, Akasaka, who was, like, trying to look for the kidnapping incident. He could have listened to everything that happened outside the door just to get all the whole skinny down of it. He did not mention anything about the kidnapping to them on the drive back, and even then, by this point, it was mentioned several times, like, it's just supposition and all that, that many people in the village already know who Akasaka is, like, by the time they went through there, which is the higher-ups and all that, but, of course, the villagers would be, like, suspicious about anyone, any outsider, in any case. So he could die by sleeping pills and all that, and, and even still looking through everything again, it doesn't make any sense, because, like, he doesn't feel like he has an agenda, honestly, especially how, he approached, Keiichi's whole confession of killing someone thing. He literally, like, answered everything completely normally, even just to go along with his, like, supposition, but, like, Keiichi was someone who's actually trying to figure out if he actually killed someone or not. Like, literally, that was the reason why he asked, and then he decided to, go, just send him away. There's something else going on with him. I just do not trust him at all. I just do not trust him at all. He knew that, Satoshi was going to the teddy bear. He's really good at lying, and on the spot, improv anyway, like many different times it's shown off. And if I guess we can put on the whole thing of that was his plan from the very beginning with Keiichi after, like, the whole confession thing, the third installment, then he's very fucking good at it. There's just that to consider. Is all that. Also, Rika's forecast mentions before that whether the last death of the town would be, it'll be merciful, and it's unrelated to any of the villagers. In some case. Huh. I'm trying to think of how everyone technically died. Because either, like, Keiichi, like, died from something in the hospital in the second installment. He clawed his own throat out from the first one. Maybe this was a drug, or, like, someone died after the first installment after he went kaput. Or, like, literally everyone, or the whole last death thing would be the whole town going dead from the gas. There's those different possibilities. Eh? What did you say? This information from a reliable source. It appears that they found the murderer of Satoshi-kun's aunt. Oh, we're getting straight into this then. I thought we were, like, maybe that was good, like, talking about this would be the next chapter or anything like that. Okay then. Alright then. It had been a few weeks since the murder. Oh my god, we did time skip, okay. Satoshi-kun still hadn't been found. I had no new information on his whereabouts. Kasai's report came, as a result, completely out of the blue. And can think, like, even adding more fuel to the fire, like, I guess thinking about Coach and all that, he technically also was there by Oishi himself, who brought him to Satoshi's, like, you know, everyone believes that Satoshi killed his aunt. Literally, the Coach was put to the crime scene, and then this guy who has no ties to anyone in the village and all that still knows information about it. It could be the Sonozakis, it could be Coach who gave information. He is a doctor. Like narcotics and all that. He knows about all that. It can work. It honestly can work. And if it's anyone other than like I guess a big bet of Oreo, which honestly, just from Mion's whole thing, unless it's another big ploy of my death will make sure of the whole town will go I don't know, do good things. It just doesn't make any sense. Like why Oreo want Mion to kill, like, you know, herself. You know, just murder her to get away with it. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. My mind is going more and more to the Coach, honestly. Kasai's report came as a result completely out of the blue. Does that mean the police arrested the culprit? It seems that he confessed during his interrogation regarding another case. That sounded strange. If it was Satoshi-kun they arrested, he wouldn't have worded it that way. It sounded as though Satoshi-kun wasn't the culprit. Kasai, who's the culprit then? Give us a name, or only just tell us he's just a nobody, don't worry. So it wasn't Satoshi-kun? I swallowed those final words. I was convinced that it was Satoshi-kun. Well, every time you, like, you just assume that, and never ask him straight out if he did or not. Pretty much, everyone assumed. You know, like, it does make sense it could be him, honestly. The police in Oishi must have thought the same way. The reason Oishi approached me is because he was convinced that Satoshi-kun did it. Don't worry. Doesn't seem like it's Satoshi-kun. I heard it was a lunatic who was aiming to continue a series of mysterious deaths. What? A lunatic? What do you mean? Especially since this is the beginning of the confidential details and all that. It actually adds more fuel to the fire of that whole thing. Coach is the only one who knew. And there might be someone in the Sonozakis, maybe to, like, I guess, the Sonozaki, like, group is, like, part of it's, like, in the police is also that I consider. Conspiracy theories everywhere! Let's nail them onto the board and just, throw a dart to see which one is right. Let luck decide. What do you mean? Kasai shrugged. I don't know. Since the investigation is classified as a confidential case, the information I can get is limited. Confidential? Why? To prevent the village from developing a bad reputation. You don't see articles about kidnapping while the police are negotiating with a culprit, do you? Nah. It's something similar to that. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen anything of the aunt's murder on TV or in the newspaper. These strange deaths have happened 4 years in a row now, on the day of the Watanagashi. There are those who try to make light of it. You know, this lunatic who confessed the aunt's murder said he did an imitation of the series of mysterious deaths. This new word again, new phrase, a series of mysterious deaths. Kasai didn't know anything else, so instead of probing him further, I reviewed the information myself. Just go into your room and go over your giant corkboard there. Red string. I was really shocked to learn all this. I was convinced that Satoshi-kun killed her. I thought that was the only reason he had to disappear. But it was actually some lunatic who killed her. And he had no relation to the aunt whatsoever. And actually considering it, there was also the whole thing of, like, at first glance, thinking about the desk thing, it honestly would, like, make sense, like, at the surface level that Satoshi literally like put the desk like from the desk and was gonna tell his aunt there to kill her outright like that, like taking her outside the house, but like two different things. Weirdly enough, thinking about it, because one they'll be obviously lead a trail against like he has to go all the way across into the dump through the woods. There is that like Keiichi did show that off like by going to like through the woods like from like Reina's thing from the very first installment, I believe so. And it goes to the desk, and in the bat Satoshi could have like always seen carrying around from the Hinamizawa fighters team. That could be the thing he laid down to the bush there. It all makes sense at first glance, but then why then decide to sneak outside his own house barefoot and start running somewhere? It doesn't make quite sense, because even his aunt, like he even mentioned before, like the narration mentioned before that Satoshi literally has his aunt carry it for him. Literally. That's it. And she didn't die near the desk at all. It was nowhere near the dump site at all. It was in the woods, far away from there. So those two weird things are not explained at all. And plus, like literally, even Oishi mentioned before that the aunt was killed right there. That was a point to put in, like to put a cork in there. She died right in the spot. She got hit in the head and knocked out immediately, and she was killed right there in the floor on the ground. She did not run like Teppei did, like Keiichi did. That's a completely different scenario altogether. That was it. So why exactly is it different now? What happened there was so different? It was actually some lunatic who killed her, and he had no relation to the aunt whatsoever. So Satoshi couldn't have nothing to do with the murder? If so, it actually would be interesting if, like, Satoshi actually did like, planned everything to kill, but honestly, someone else got to her first. And honestly, that is so intriguing. And even then, that would actually, like, oh boy, like, that'd be the whole thing of, like, he technically did cause, he actually was planning everything, and the police already can recognize that fact, but he literally just can't say he didn't do it. It just, you would still feel guilty about it anyway, after all this, in some shape or form. That or, like, no, he probably wouldn't, honestly. If, like, his aunt is that bad, and there's no whole thing of, like, even before everything happened, like, the aunt was always that bad. Screw that part. Screw that part. Maybe just only just guilty being caught, anything like that, just nervous about that. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you ever be, guilty for that, that kind of murder? Why did he disappear? I couldn't accept that this lunatic had killed the aunt. What's really strange is the phrase Kasai used. 4 years in a row now. After all, I've been thinking this murder happened because Satoshi-kun had been in a dire situation, and had nothing to do with the series of mysterious deaths. I felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. There was also the whole fact that the aunt and the uncle did want, like, kept being married, and also kept adopting those kids so they have the money, like when they get older, I'm assuming, like into the will and all that. And there is all the whole thing, right? Like, I don't know exactly what their plan was, like, unless they already had the money. I think so. No, if Hojo's parents didn't think they get killed anyway, like, which obviously no, they wouldn't. They just got the money all just outright then. Unless it's literally a serious unfortunate event situation where only the kids can get like only the kids can get the money by 18 or something like that. I doubt it. It felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. The series of mysterious deaths at Hinamizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Satoshi-kun's case had become one of those mysterious deaths. In other words, Satoshi-kun's case has become a part of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't like the way that sounded, because it's as though the curse has swallowed Satoshi-kun. So, we put this all out in the open, okay? We're gonna figure this out, okay? You're gonna tell me all the details, even they're confidential. Aoshi, Yushi, Ew. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to confirm the tip that Satoshi-kun took a train to Tokyo. Yeah, you couldn't confirm it at all. You don't even know whether or not he's in this prefecture, to be honest. Yeah, basically. That's only just supposition. And even then, considering if, like, it was true, it doesn't make sense to me anyway. He still took his money out of the bank, and he still somehow lost his wallet, and then immediately after went to the train. Wouldn't you need to buy a ticket then? You know, like, then, like, someone gave him, like, the money and all that. He decided to, like, look for his wallet then instead of immediately run through the train and all that. Instead of ask that person for help. It's a bunch of different things all at once. Oishi broke the seal on a new can of instant coffee. I thought you knew his whereabouts already, since you seemed very convinced he was the culprit. You got me. Oishi chuckled and poured a cup of coffee, which looked far too hot. No, the cans are actually heated up. Okay, that's interesting. You have some good sources. Huh? It's a highly classified case, but you already have this information. Look, I get around town. Finger guns. Wonder who leaked it. Looks like we need to review our security precautions. Oishi smirked. He seemed he knew why I was here today. I'm one of the Sonozakis, after all. Does that technically mean, yeah, like, it's someone in the police force technically is part of it? Yeah. That can also lead to, I guess, like, bodies and all that. Like, it's easily, you can easily fake him, the whole first murder with the dam foreman, honestly. His body's in separate pieces, honestly. It can honestly be someone else. The only thing that was missing is literally just a left arm. And if they literally can just find the head of the victim and like nothing else, then did they do DNA tests on the body is the one thing, especially. I'm one of the Sonozakis at all. My ears are open. I smirked back at him. It's all about bluffing. Anyway, since we're friends now, yeah, no, only that. Why don't we have a chat? Let me ask you first, my dear friend, quote-unquote. Who is this real culprit? I heard he was a lunatic, but what does that mean? I don't know how to answer that question. I want to know the answer myself. Really, I was convinced Satoshi-kun was the real culprit. It was a little surprising for me, too. Oishi threw himself on the sofa and crossed his hands behind his head. He looked up at the ceiling and smiled wryly. I suddenly received a call from the prefectural police the other day. They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of the housewife. Oh, and also just remember, like, you work in, like, the police, like, force for Okinomiya instead. And if, like, the body parts of the first murder are all scattered around, someone from the town also could, like, yeah. There's also that kind of manipulation as well. They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of the housewife. Who is it? He's a real piece of work who fell into a drug habit. You're not telling his name. You're not telling his background. He's been in and out of prison for drug abuse. His statement says that he was interested in the series of mysterious deaths and wanted to imitate them. Are you sure he's the real culprit? I didn't interrogate him myself, but the prefectural police tells me that he has information only the real culprit would know. He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into the Oiji River. Ah, okay, what is... Oh, wait, no. Satoshi's bat is actually still around. That's the other thing. So what did Satoshi put in the bush, then? It was close by the... If it was by the trash heap, would Reina have found it? Oh, God. He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into Oiji River. I'm searching for it right now. Is the Oiji River anywhere close to the swamp? If it's found, his statement will be solid then. I mean, even if the weapon wasn't found, would the case be closed? Probably. The statement clearly outlines the state of the crime scene, the body. This information, like I said, covers details that only the actual murderer would know. You don't seem quite convinced. Yeah, like literally how you put it down. Outlines the state of the crime scene and the body. And the coach was there. He was pushed past, like, you know, police lines. Obviously, they'll have a little thing to make sure no one around would actually be able to see the body themselves. Like a very large perimeter in the woods. Unless someone else found the body. Which, on the day of the festival, unless someone else was missing there, the police are already, like, you know, get them all sorted out then. Which, yeah. Yeah. The coach was also, like, also saw the state of the body. You don't seem quite convinced. Oishi, still looking up at the ceiling, went quiet. As a matter of fact, the moron was already dead by the time I got their call. Dead? Ah. You know those spoons that are forked to the tip? Just call them a spork. They use those at the detention facility. It's called ingenuity. You scoop, then stab. It's the wonders of the spork. I was told that he swallowed one and choked on it. I couldn't tell if it was suicide or if it was caused by some mental disorder. I imagine somebody swallowing that spoon and gagged, and immediately just get the cartoon image in your head. Like Tom the cat just swallowing a fork and it's stuck in the throat. No, Squidward, that episode, laughing at him. The SpongeBob and Patrick just immediately hate each other. That's funny. The soda episode, that was fun. So the investigation had been done that thoroughly. But although I'm not convinced, my superiors are. I think with that, the case will be closed. Oishi turned his eyes on the ceiling to me. He looked serious. This is just how I personally feel, okay? So please keep it between the two of us. I believe this moron is some kind of mistake. Like, is he a mistake of life, or just... Don't insult him like that. It might be either a big misunderstanding caused by a chain of coincidences, or... You know. I have no idea what you're talking about. Spit it out, man. Say it. Say it that someone framed him. I still believe that the real culprit is Satoshi Hojo-kun. You sound confident. Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything to prove he was at the crime scene. Yeah, even like mentioned before about hair and all that, it's nearby the house from the sound of it, so... A bunch of other houses, so a bunch of hair being a well-worn trail, even if it's only used for like those people in the neighborhood, it's not proof of anything, honestly. We didn't warrant to search his house, he disappeared, but we still found nothing. But you still believe he did it, then? Yes. Wonder how sure you can be, even though you don't have any evidence. It's incredible. Is that supposed to be like the hunch of an experienced detective? Yep. It's the hunch of a guy who's been in this business for several decades. Oishi smiled in satisfaction, but I didn't feel relieved. You know, people still can be wrong, you know, Where does Satoshi-kun go, then? His disappearance convinced me that he was the culprit. Or just something else happened to him? If he wasn't the culprit, there would be no real reason for him to disappear. Or something else fucking happened? You can't confirm that he went in the train anyway. You can't confirm his whereabouts or confirm anything what happened to him at all. What if the murder actually was done by the copycat, and Satoshi-kun's disappearance has nothing to do with it? In other words, what if Satoshi-kun disappeared because the Sonozaki family didn't like my relationship with him? It had nothing to do with the murder. Was Satoshi-kun a culprit? Or a victim? The reason for his disappearance had become unclear. Literally everything, this whole entire thing, is just all a perfect gray zone. Just a dark cloud. Like in those figure 8 fortune balls, anyway. You can't see anything down there until you can only see the many different sides of what could happen. And might be not. You just shake it to your own fortune, and you get an answer, but it might not be true. That's basically a nice analogy to use here. Nothing sure. I don't think they bothered to make one person disappear just because of an undesirable relationship. So why'd you outline that the Sonozaki family did it then? Oh my god. What do you hear from inside the Sonozaki family? Do you know anything? I wouldn't be here if I did. Honestly. Yes. Honestly. You're right. Oishi laughed out loud while scratching his head. And after he stopped laughing, he leaned over. Alright, how about this? Why don't we make a deal? I don't want to make a deal with the devil, thank you. The gentleman's deal. The substitute gentleman with devil on it, the same thing. A deal? On what? On information about Satoshi-kun's disappearance. If you find information like that, you tell me, and I'll also provide you with information if I find any. Do we have a deal? That sounds too convenient for you. Oichi chuckled. Shion-san. I think if we leave things as they are, they'll conclude that the moron committed the murder. If that happens, Satoshi-kun's disappearance will be treated as just another runaway miner. They won't search for him as actively as before. God fucking damn it, I hate you. But we'll continue searching for him, and put him in handcuffs then first. Only I will do it. I believe you're intending to do the same, anyway. Our motives are different, though. I just want to know if he's safe, but you'd like to arrest him, wouldn't you? The murder case was considered solved, Satoshi-kun would be free. Regardless of his innocence. Yeah, I doubt that. Yeah, that fucking face, that proves everything. Well, you could check out again, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. Well, let's be friends from now on, in the loosest sense of the term. In the goddamn, only the smallest of fine print, only. After that, the contract's ripped open. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, no? This is not always applicable. I'm not opposed to the Sonozaki family, though. Oh, really? I apologize, then. This is the way Kurado Oshi, huh? Assistant Kasai said, I wouldn't want him as my enemy or my ally because both would be too risky. Yeah, Keiichi kind of, already had that suspicion anyway. Yeah. I probably shouldn't let my guard down in front of this big fat weasel. Nice, I love that image. I want someone to draw that now. I sipped in the coffee to fill out the silence, though I wasn't thirsty. Outside the window, I could see normal life taking its course. But Satoshi-kun wasn't there. He should have been there, but he wasn't. I was scared that I might grow used to his absence someday. Where was he? I wonder how Satoshi-kun is doing. I hope he's alright. No, you don't. I know you might think he might be dead. Don't patronize me. Do you know what people are calling disappearance in Hinamizawa? Huh? They say that he was demoned away. To be demoned away means the same thing as being spirited away. Yeah, but every time any kind of mention of him, from Rika, anyone mentioning being going missing, anything like that, it was never mentioned at all. Sure, Rika mentioned Sadako's parents and Eureka's parents will both be dead no matter what, but one of them went missing in each case. There's no mention of one of the killers, the main culprit from the dam foreman, going missing as well. There's no mention of that, no mention of Satoshi. So yeah, no mention of anyone going missing at all. It was always just the murders planned. It's part of the local dialect. I'll say. He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the Onigafuchi swamp? That's ridiculous. Anyway, this year's mysterious death has struck for the 4th time. It's too soon, but people are already talking about next year. Are you saying that the murder was the result of Oyashiro-sama's curse? The victim was one of the Hojos, after all. He was involved in the dam conflict, though indirectly. Really, it's not surprising that some people take an interest in incidents, because they do always happen the day of Wanta Nagashi. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure if you try to completely ignore that, you just have a death wish then. Or just very, very alarmingly chillaxed about things. That's ridiculous too. I mean, Oyashiro-sama's curse? When I said that, I couldn't quite wipe away the fear from my mind. Yeah, and also, the mass hysteria stuff as well. There's that whole thing again. Don't know how they'll extend to, I guess, if it's someone else is the culprit for each individual year. Don't know how that would make sense for, I guess, a mass hysteria event. Because that would mean, I guess, the first 2 murders would then first have to, well, the first 2, then actually a 3rd would happen. And then, I guess, from there, it could turn to mass hysteria, because there's a whole thing of first 2, it could be just a coincidence the same day, but a 3rd time? That's just way too many. And of course, with this 4th one, yeah. Doesn't help things at all. It's not just a coincidence, really. It's premeditated or planned by someone, or even each individual, like, someone new each time. Why did Satoshi-kun disappear? Was it the Sonozaki family? Did he run away from the police? Did he really kill his aunt in the first place? Why did he even disappear? Why was he barefoot? Was he actually a werewolf? He's on his own. I hear Shiro-sama's curse has nothing to do with it. But... Wait. That's strange. Satoshi-kun and Oya Shiro-sama's curse. Somebody once mentioned those two together before. Oh, I thought, oh, we were actually going there. My first thought was Reina, yes. When did I hear that? No, you heard it from Mion. Don't worry about it. No one else in this whole town mentioned that before. Ah, that's right. That rainy day. Oh, is this also another reason why? Oh. Well, and since Reina doesn't know, or at least, like, lied against, like, just lied into Keiichi, but I'm two different people and all that. It's actually, like, it seems like it's implied that Reina technically doesn't know the two differences of them. That is, Shion just planned to go disguised as Mion again just to talk to her even more? Ah, that's right, that rainy day. It was Reina Ryugu told me that when we were taking shelter in that shack. Ah. I remember that creepy story that you showed me that time. Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away, even if only unconsciously. That's what Reina Ryugu said. Reina definitely pointed out that Satoshi-kun wanted to leave Hinamizawa at that time. She also said, everything's gonna be everything he's going through. The sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. She said that, for sure. She definitely mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse. The series of mysterious deaths we're seeing that again has struck 4 times. Was Satoshi-kun being controlled by the curse? Is that why he killed his aunt and was demoned away? No way. No way, that can't be true. Satoshi-kun's smile faded away in my mind. Satoshi-kun disappeared. Not only that, the reason for its disappearance had also disappeared. It must have been done by human beings. I can't accept that he was demoned away. Notebook, page 43. You just dropped everything talking to Oishi and just start sprinting into Hinamizawa. No, first back to your own room just to get him, Oh, you're gonna talk to me in the library then. Okay. Damn, we're not gonna disguise and interrogate her personally. I moved from one chair to another because the air conditioning was too cold. I moved my notebook, my pen case with a bunch of keychains, and my cup of milk tea. I did it all in one go. I sat in a new chair, then on my notebook again. I scribbled my thoughts and sank into silence. The series of mysterious deaths. Dubbed the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I've been viewing each incident as a separate case now, even though it was followed by another one. I have never looked at all the cases part of one big scheme before. As I wrote down all the incidents on paper, it became clear to me that all of them served the same agenda. I mean, honestly. In some form. I wrote down the victims. The first year, the construction site manager. Second year, Satoshi-kun's parents. The third year, the priest. The fourth year, Satoshi-kun's aunt. For the fourth year, one can consider Satoshi-kun himself to be the victim, rather than his aunt. If I consider that each case arose from the grudge over the dam conflict, it's quite simple. In the first year, the construction manager was killed because he was a symbol of the dam construction itself. Of course, the real enemy was the Ministry of Construction, but it wasn't as clear a target. That manager, on the other hand, had been aggressively shouting back at the villagers, so he was a more appropriate enemy to attack. If Oyashiro-sama had really cursed someone, it would have been the officials from the ministry. It's apparent that the target was selected based on the villagers' preference. It also is kind of actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's why Oishi like so committed to all the separate things, and the gut instinct of it has to be all connected somehow. Everyone believes it's like separate. It's clear there's something else going on. The second year. The accidental death of Satoshi Kun's parents. It's said that they fell from a cliff in some park. It's doubtful that it was really an accident. Oh yeah, I didn't comment at the time. Don't think that whole small comment you made about Satoshi could be a victim himself. That's just sweet. That's just sweet. Just want to say that. It's said that they fell from a cliff in some park, but it's doubtful that it was really an accident. His parents were labeled as traitors to the village because they sided with the dam construction, even though they were also from Hinamizawa. The Hojo family was ostracized during the dam conflict in order to prevent further pro-dam activists from rising up. That means that Hojos were necessary during the conflict to play the role of the traitor. Yeah, scapegoats. So when the conflict was over, they no longer served any purpose. The construction site manager was a symbol of the external enemy. The Hojos were a symbol of the internal enemy. Those people fell victim to the curse. It seemed that the grudge over the dam conflict ended. Those incidents were followed by another one. The third year. The leader of one of the three families, the priest, Furude, suddenly died of an illness with an unknown cause. Almost in the same actually kind of manner of that weird drug that in a syringe that no one can actually figure out, even under police testing. Huh. His wife drowned herself in the same night. She seemed to have left a note that said she was sacrificing herself to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. Whether it was a fatal disease or suicide, their deaths looked suspicious. Mion admitted that the Sonozaki family didn't like the priest's attitude. They didn't like how the priest had been generous toward the pro-dam activists. The priest wasn't quite a traitor, but he was certainly uncooperative. Looking at these incidents, I realized that the curse was performed based on the degree of hostility. Enemy, traitor, and dissident. This meant that the curse was actually payment. It was a punishment for the criminals of war. In the fourth year, I didn't understand this case at first, to be honest. At first, I believed this case was separate from the other ones, even though it occurred in the same day. So what would be the ant's, way to put it then? Not the center, but, I guess you're gonna, label it down to the fact of, the ant was, slowly becoming hostile to everyone just because, she believed they all hated her for it, and, that just did a whole cycle that, everyone started hating her in turn. Possibly? I never thought that there would be any relation to the other three. But when I wrote it down and looked at it objectively, the victim is a relative of a traitor. Oh, that degree. Okay, well that's easy. And her enemy, traitor, and dissident, relative of a traitor doesn't sound too odd. So then, what will be the next step from there then? From hostility for the dam site. Literally... How long has Tomotaki been, going in and out of town? Was it all, he mentioned the dam, in my murder and all that, and the dam construction. Was he there back then taking pictures? Is that literally just why they labeled him as one? Okay. It comes naturally as a fourth target. On the day the villagers worship Oyashiro-sama, their guardian deity, the criminals of the dam conflict have been punished by the curse. Just like how I was forced to pay the Sonozaki house, the criminals were made to pay as well. After writing these things out, I started thinking that the fourth incident might be in line with a series of mysterious deaths of the all. Also, I think this is kind of funny, honestly, but I kind of find it hilarious that since now we have a recognizable day for Wanted Higurashi. It happens on my birthday. It happened. That's so fucking funny to me. I'm cursed. Nice. Whether it was Satoshi-kun or the dope head, it seemed that they were forced to play the role of a murderer as a part of a bigger scenario. Even if Satoshi-kun was the real culprit, even if he killed his aunt because of an ordinary grudge, the murder seemed synchronized with the grand scheme of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, which is a payment plan for the war criminals. That murder was the result of his pain. But what if somebody planned that as part of a scenario? For instance, somebody might have suggested to him to kill his aunt on that day, that night, at that place? Yeah, most likely. Like, if we're gonna do parallels again, unless, like, Satoshi actually is a different special case, then, Keiichi honestly had, no one telling him to do that. He just decided to do it on his own. Unless, you consider something else happened the second he started to get the thought in his head of, to kill, the uncle. Like, just either sudden epiphany to kill, or, possession of supernatural, or something like that. Or, like, someone was subtly manipulating him throughout it. They also did label him, that, Oria, like, mentioned things, like, very casually, like, in different ways, and people are meant to interpret it as, you do this or that. And technically, Mia's letting become the heir, and she lives under her for so long, there could be that connection. And Keiichi did talk to Mion, like, that same, like, the day before he decided to get, like, the idea in his head to kill someone. He was literally able to sit behind it, of literally wishing for someone's death. There's also that to consider. Set of manipulations all around. Somebody might have suggested to kill him, to kill his aunt on that day, that night, that place? I had no doubts that Satoshi-kun decided to kill her in order to protect Sadako. But did he really reach that conclusion on his own? But Satoshi-kun was optimistic and somewhat detached, as far as I know. Would he really have considered murdering his aunt, even if it was to protect his sister? So someone basically, like, went down a whole list saying how worth the situation was. I think there's only, like... Well, technically there was, like, 3 people who actually, like, put that down for Keiichi for doing that parallel again. There was the coach, who mostly just, like, laid down we can't do anything right now. We can only accept what's happening right now. There's Rika, who brought the whole fact of just to give, like, details to Keiichi that Sadako tried, like, made a false call about her original stepfather, and the Child Protective Services will not would take everything that's happening now with a grain of salt. Or literally how Mion, like, did of like, when things got stressful, which he can still take as, organically all through that, going to the entire list of why it's all pointless and they can't do anything to help her. There's those 3 factors for doing that parallel again. Can it be possible for somebody to have chosen the aunt as the 4th year's murder beforehand? Not unfounded, but you don't have the information, technically speaking, so there's that. If only he, like, realized Rika was an important person to talk to, and she would actually want to talk about that, then it's, yeah. And they used Satoshi-kun? And Satoshi-kun was eliminated because of his connection with them? I mean, there's the whole thing entirely if we can find some way to prove, like, like, there was someone who was around him, like, speaking all of this just to, there is that way we can arrest someone if, we can prove, like, they, like, instigated the murder to happen. I remember seeing, like, there was I think another, like, a murder mystery is all about that. That's actually a really cool mystery, though. But, yeah, Like, if it was only verbal, though, then we have nothing. That's the only way we can. The police can find a thing in, like, Satoshi-kun's house, and either, someone else, like, somehow maybe broke in, the police didn't notice, somehow. They stole whatever, like, letter or anything like that, they didn't, like, went back, or literally just only talked to them. That was it, just putting the plaintiff's ID in their head, like, indirectly, or, like, directly. Especially since no one in, like, how, like, Samazaki's never actually, considered that Satoshi... Well, at least Mion, anyway, and, like, Shion, from the sound of it, like, didn't even consider, like, making an alibi for him. So, it doesn't seem like it's those two, or, like, Mion is, like, lying, like, to Shion, but I kind of doubt that. Looking at it that way, the murder of the 1st year resembles this case. The main culprit behind that case hasn't been found yet. Dead or alive. Yeah. The other culprits testified that their fight had turned into a slaughter. But wouldn't it be possible the main culprit had manipulated the situation? What if he'd been told to kill someone on that day, at that time, and in that place? I'm certain, yeah. Because even if, like, it's verified that the body, like, definitely belonged to the damn foreman, like, completely, absolutely, 100% conclusively, that whoever's behind all this really does not want the first murder to be investigated again at all. Like, since it was the first one, and we're doing the whole thing of it's a whole new thing of like trying to instigate someone else to do the crime. Then there might be traces. Then at least there's something there which they're afraid of being found out. It might tie into whoever like goes missing, like in the third and fourth installments, whether it's Oishi or his partner Kumagai. I'm certain the first murder resembles Satoshi-kun's case very much. So, did that mean Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else? Oishi presented me with a hypnotist. I thought this was a hypnotist. It's nothing is supernatural. They're just a world-class hypnotist in the town. Yeah. Oishi presented me with a hypothesis that the Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear in order to end my relationship with a murderer. But when I read the notes I wrote down, his disappearance didn't seem too spontaneous. It's like part of a bigger plan. Yeah, because either way, like that had to take a lot of like pre-planning then. Anyway, especially if like literally Shion literally got arrested to the police and then immediate interrogation, like they taken to Sonozaki house and they were still planning a punishment. That seemed too close to the wire to suddenly make that plan up. Actually, way too close. Especially since they had to verify, like, Shion actually did have a crush on him, and, like, she said it outright then and there. But after the Punisher went and done all that, yeah, It seems too close to the wire. Since I unexpectedly got involved in that plan, I had to be separated from him. Then Satoshi-kun was demoned away, as planned. At first, I also believed the Sonozaki family made him disappear because they didn't like that I was in love with a member of a family of traitors. But something doesn't add up. Something felt strange. It wasn't the reason for his disappearance after all. Even if I never met him in the first place, Satoshi-kun was supposed to kill his aunt in June 1982 and then disappear. At one point, I have been thinking of taking revenge in The Hag. Yay! I believe that she separated us. It's the whole revenge cycle, yay. Yeah. But what if my relationship with Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with his disappearance? What would that mean, then? It's something that's out of your control or out of your, I guess, your perception, then, right now. Who made Satoshi-kun disappear? I need to understand the series of mysterious deaths in order to solve this mystery. What did all these deaths mean? Who was behind them? What purpose did they serve? I want to know the purpose, the motive, and who was responsible. Who took Satoshi-kun? I want to know if he was still alive. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. What is that curse? Well, any way to look at it, well, if it was... They want the whole entire town to think it was the curse. Anyway, just in the sound of it. They're killing on the day, so that's something to keep in mind, too. Specifically, what kind of god is Oyashiro-sama? Well, time to hit the textbooks and the history books. What blessings does he bring and what punishments does he dole out? I wrote down my thoughts in a notebook. What's Oyashiro-sama? What is he? I scribbled these things down. I was so absorbed by it. I didn't realize somebody had been standing behind me, watching me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from gasping when I realized that. Hi! Oh, it's you! Hi! Hi, nice to meet you. Okay, then, let's take a picture together for old time's sake. Just to prove that you're here. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I startle you? The intelligent-looking woman giggled. No, I was just a little bit surprised. Sorry about that. She could apologize a little better, too, since she'd been watching me from behind. She's having a fun time reading your notes, okay? There is the whole thing of, like, maybe she is behind Tomataki's death, too. There honestly could be that entire thing there. The first murder, the first, fourth, and fifth murder, like the first, fourth, and fifth murder definitely technically was actually someone else's like thing, but they can manipulate to do so. Maybe. I mean, the third installment didn't say anything about him literally trying to paint this woman in a most suspicious light. Anyway, which honestly, that is so cool of an idea. But she stared at my face instead. Are you Shion Tsunozaki-san? You must know sis since you know my name, but I don't know who you are. Being twins is a pain sometimes. People you never met before can tell exactly who you are, unless you're secretly a triplet in disguise. I'm sorry. Those Tsunozaki-san I know would never be seen in a library, so I assumed that you were twin sister. Man, the gossip has went all around town already. You know, actually thinking about it right now, since no one else, since no one else in Katie's friend group, like Reina, it's implied that Sadako and Rika don't know, how exactly do you know? You're looking into the Sonozaki group, sure, but, like, how long have you been? Answer me, woman. As long as we don't know your name. You're just a woman, okay. The woman giggled again. Well, you were right. I'm Shion Tsunozaki. Now, shoo, go away. Well, nice to meet you. May I ask your name? Oh, I'm sorry. I should introduce myself first. She seemed to love her own hair because she kept running her fingers through it boastfully. Oh, okay. I'm Mio Takano. You can call me Mio, Shion-san. Like Shion-chan. Nice to meet you, Takano-san. Her condescending attitude bugged me. I hate meeting people like that. I closed my notebook and got ready to leave the desk. No, like pursed lips. Oh, are you upset? Thank you for your concern. I like to be alone when thinking, so I'm moving to another spot. Excuse me. That's a shame. I thought we'd be good friends. Did you? I don't think so. I finally met someone with the same passion, a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I think it's quite unusual to meet someone like that. She saw my notes! Ah! My face reddened. These are just theories. Hypothesis. It's all nonsense. Conspiracy theories. Don't look at it. Just childish scribbles. The series of mysterious deaths is also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. Wow. Technically, you have the same exact knowledge as everyone else in this village just from the sound of that. Look at that. Though each death is an independent incident, all of them clearly share the same purpose. Each year, someone dies with a curse, and someone else sacrifices and disappears. But, what? What are you saying all of a sudden? Let her go on her monologue spiel. She has to do this to everyone she meets who has some vague small interest in it, of course. It's just her hyperfixation, okay? Don't insult her for it, okay? Let her go off, okay? Someone dies and someone else... What? I guess that actually explains why you're, like, somewhat affiliated with her. Especially the next year they break into the ritual storehouse. I was taken aback by her weird spiel. I'm just thinking about it. I wonder if that's actually what happens, like, that Shion actually does that no matter what. At the, like looks into the ritual storehouse with, Tomataki and, Mio. Since, she already technically knew, like, it happened just the sound of it from, like, her bringing Keiichi to that exact building. The only reason, like, that got caught and, like, you know, the plan changed for that year in some way was because Keiichi decided to turn the light on. For just a split second. My god. I was taken aback by a weird spiel. I realized right away that she said something extraordinary. Didn't you notice the number of victims is always even? Haven't you realized that yet? The number of victims is always even? I was confused, but I tried to figure out what that meant. Wait, how many people technically killed the dam foreman, though? The dam construction site manager died in the first year. There was only one victim. The second year, the victims were the parents of Satoshi-kun, so it was 2 people. And the third year was the priest. And if her death was also planned, his wife, 2 again. In this year, the 4th year, Satoshi-kun's aunt died and Satoshi-kun went missing. You kind of skipped over the fact that the culprit for the damn foreman also went missing. You completely forgot about that. If Satoshi-kun's disappearance was planned, the number of victims was 2. It's true. Except for the first one, the victims always came in an even number. 2. Uno, dos. Wait. I had just concluded myself that the first case resembled the 4th one. The main culprit was still missing. He might have been demoned away, just like Satoshi-kun. See? Doesn't make sense now. Takano-san seemed like a teacher who had shown me how to solve a difficult math problem. I wasn't convinced, but I couldn't deny what she said either. Just take a connection and run with it, okay? And if you'd like, throw it away later. Did I give you enough hints? I really would have enjoyed a conversation with you. But I think you would prefer alone. Flips hair. Well, goodbye. I'm sorry that wasn't respectful, Mio-san. Please, call me Shion. She seemed content that I changed my attitude. She got giggling for a while. She didn't seem that reliable. I didn't want to be acquainted with her for too long. But I don't get to talk to people that much. And what she said interested me. Well, let me introduce myself again. I'm Mio Takano-san. Just calling yourself by your own honorific, goddammit. I'm so used to doing that. To the point that I'm every time I bring up to, like, Tomotaki, I was so used to like saying san afterwards. My god. Call me Mio. Pleased to meet you, Mio-san. I'm Shion Sonozaki. Okay, how many times are we gonna say this? Okay, go on in a whole entire, like, Francisca von Karma spiel, full names only. Hi there, Mio Takano-san. I'm Shion Sonozaki, and this is my dear twin sister, Mion Sonozaki. Just go down the whole list. Mion's twin sister. No, Mion Sonozaki's twin sister. Please call me Shion Sonozaki. I took the hand that Mio Takano-san held out as a sign of reconciliation. Please. Tell me more. You said there were always 2 victims? One dies due to the curse, and the other is a sacrifice? Shion Sonozaki-chan, before we get to that, could you tell me why you became interested in this? She leaned over and looked into my eyes. It was kind of uncomfortable, piercing daggers. Mio Takano-san, how much do you know about me? I guess you have an idea if you know my name. I don't know much. Just that you recently returned from a boarding school. I see. So I think you can imagine that I want to know about the series of mysterious deaths that happened while I was away. I'm just curious. I see. You're curious, huh? I got the impression that she knew about what happened to Satoshi-kun and me. Because she instantly recognized me as Shion, not Mion. I didn't know why I thought that way. She shouldn't have access to the sources that, for instance, Oishi does. It was just the look in her eyes that made me think that way. Let me ask you a question this time, then. You called me a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse, didn't you? So why are you researching the curse? You also say that there's always an even number of victims in the mysterious deaths. I mean, it's true that Hinamizawa's mysterious deaths are often called Oyashiro-sama's curse, but why would you delve into the mysterious deaths if you're researching the curse itself? Shion Sonozaki-chan, you're asking too many questions at once. Then go down the list, write them down, answer them one by one. I can't tell you what you really want to know. Can't say anything in return. Maybe I've been too inquisitive. I'll answer your questions one by one, though. I'm not just researching the curse, as my subject is much broader than that. I'm researching the history of Onikafuchi Village. In plain terms, I'm researching the dark and ancient history of Hinamizawa. Onikafuchi Village? Isn't Onikafuchi the bottomless swamp some people believe is connected to hell? And what dark history? I kept asking questions. Mio Takano-san, however, looked pleased to hear them. Onikafuchi Village is the old name for Hinamizawa, as it was known back before the Meijing era. About the dark history. You know a little bit about the man-eating demons, I assume. Uh, oh, the man-eating demons, huh? Yes, we're going down that whole thing. I'm integrating society and all that. That's still so funny to me. That was a fairy tale told in Hinamizawa. A long time ago, demons came out of the swamp, and while the villagers battled with them, they ended up living peacefully together. The villagers transcended and became a sacred people, having demon blood in their veins. That long-forgotten fairy tale came back to my mind vividly. You know this story because you're a villager, of course. But what about the story of the cannibal banquet? Cannibal banquet? Eh? What's that? You know the villagers with the blood of man-eating demons in their veins, don't you? Yeah, I think I've heard of it. I dodged the question. Hinamizawa used to be the desolate village, but it grew in prominence after the Second World War, and expanded its influence to Okinawa and other areas. The people who disliked and discriminated against the villagers called us man-eating demons. I remember that. Young villagers don't take it seriously, but the older people can get seriously upset about it. They certainly can't take it as a joke. So the term man-eating demons is forbidden. We normally never use it. It's like a slur for this area, okay. Even during my rebellious phase, I never spoke those words. Mio Takano-san, however, seemed to have no qualms with saying it out loud. I mean, technically speaking, we're in Okinawa, so she doesn't worry about that right now anyway. Actually, the way you phrase it, wait, actually, how you phrased that before? Wait, where was that one? Yeah, well, there's that, like, Are you actually a villager here in Hinamizawa? Like, you move here or anything like that? Like, obviously, like, you're a villager here now, but, like, were you always? Because you, like, work at the clinic as a nurse. So, distinctions. Are you upset? About what? I know people hate that phrase in Hinamizawa. Oh, yes, we already had a little monologue about that. Don't worry about that. I apologize if it made you feel uncomfortable. The other people wouldn't like it much, but I'm fine. It'd be cool to be called a demon. Would you continue? Thanks. Okay, so, ancient villagers had a custom of cannibalism. They ritualized this custom and held various ceremonies based around it. The festival we hold in June isn't just an early summer festival. It used to be a banquet in which the villagers chased or sacrificed and ate them. They bound the sacrifice to a table, gutted them, and dumped the organs into a river. Wata can mean cotton, but it can also mean organs. That's the root of the word wata nagashi. Organ drifting, wata nagashi. Indeed. I believe they started using futon mats to cover it all up around the Meijing era, according to my research. They wouldn't be able to do that openly nowadays. Not in this society. Everything Mio Takano-san was talking about sounded startling. I was just taken aback. I couldn't wholly believe it right away. She sensed that from my expression. It's not a hoax. I didn't make any of that up. If you promise to tell anyone, I can show you my notes on Wata Nagashi. Mio Takano-san took out a notebook from her bag and flipped through it. She appeared to be doing her research thoroughly. Thank you. I'd like to read it. Sure. I like to keep it confidential, you know? But I guess I should share it with my fellow researcher. Mio Takano-san handed me the notebook a bit hesitantly. It looked like it'd take a whole night to finish reading. It was densely packed with information. I saw copies of various documents and quotes in there too. It wasn't just some delusion of hers. You told me that one person dies because of the curse, another person is sacrificed and disappears, right? A person sacrificed and disappears. Satoshi-kun had gone missing. Did he become a sacrifice? What is a sacrifice anyway? Mio Takano-san looked pleased to hear my questions again. She took out another notebook and handed it to me. Here's another second night to read all these. I think you'll understand once you read this, but I'll give you a digest version. Oyashiro-sama's curse is simply Oyashiro-sama's anger. In other words, the curse is caused by Oyashiro-sama's anger. Do you follow? Yes. You're saying that Oyashiro-sama was mad at the people who opposed the village during the dam conflict, and that's why the curse occurred. That's right. Oyashiro-sama's anger has to be pacified. If not, something even worse will occur. So the successive priests at the Fruity Shrine had to perform a sacrifice every time the curse struck, in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama. It's called a sacrificial ritual. But doesn't that technically mean that since the curse the whole Oyashiro-sama's curse happened the little like night after the ritual happened, that means the whole village is forced to do it the next year, and since someone else decides to kill the same night again, it's an endless cycle because of that now. Gosh dang it, we'll never be done with this. We'll never be done with this. So each day of the Watanagashi, one person dies because of the curse. Another one is sacrificed to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger? But only one person is actually murdered each time. I never heard of human sacrifices being made. Naturally, there's no body. Ritual sacrifice requires the offering be sunk into Onigafuchi Swamp. That swamp was bottomless, and no one would ever surface once they were thrown in there. No body would ever be found, of course. So, one of the victims is always thrown into the swamp every year? I could explain why like, maybe I could explain why that's why Teppei's, like, body was, like, dug up and, like, his body was actually thrown into the swamp, along with his precious motorbike and Satoshi's bat. Does that mean Satoshi-kun is also the bottom of the, like, dark green swamp? I don't know. I'm not sure that they really throw him into the swamp. But those who make these incidents happen must be eliminating one person based on the legend. Each year, a traitor to the village dies on the day of Watanagashi because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. And another person is sacrificed in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. That person's body will never be found, because he or she is supposed to be thrown into the bottom of the swamp. Yes, you get it. This series of mysterious deaths always occurs, but involves both the curse and the sacrifice. This system allows 2 traitors to die every year. What I'm telling you now probably isn't sufficient, so it might be hard to grasp. Instead, I want you to take the time to read my notes. You'll see that what I'm telling you isn't far from the truth at all. Oh, you're literally letting us borrow it, okay. I heard a man's voice just then. A middle-aged man with a hat was waving at Mio-san from the entrance. Mio Takano-san. Oh, sorry. I think I have to go. Wait, did Tomotaki-san have a hat? I think he does. I want to talk to you more, but I guess we'll have another chance to chat. I'll leave those notes to you. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions. Okay, bye. I'll actually get to hear this in some way. Oh my gosh, this is actually intriguing. Mio Takano-san, we have to specify that every single time, don't worry, wrapped up the conversation and headed to where the man was waiting for her. She left her old notebooks in my hands. Mio Takano-san waved at me as she left the library with her companion. I took a seat again and opened what she'd given me. What bugged me was the series of mysterious deaths, again the phrase, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Well, yes, that's the whole reason why you're reading the notes anyway. Maybe I'd be able to get closer to the truth by reading these notebooks. If I studied them carefully, I might be able to find out who was really behind the incidences. Why did Satoshi-kun have to disappear? What was he involved in? How did that happen? Maybe her notes would give me the answer. Oh, I thought we were actually in the chapter there, and the rest will be either tips or the next chapter was all about reading them. Okay then. Oh wow. Reader's notes, Mio Takano. I started flipping the pages, this time making sure that no one was watching over my shoulder. Just go into the corner of the library, move your chair and the table over, and do that. Take all night. Miss, can you leave the library now? It was time for the library to close. I had to leave. I bought some food on my way home. Yeah, I still love the teddy bear so much. I shut my door and locked it right away. Then, I heard the door of the neighboring apartment open. Kasai lived next door. Nobody else lived on this floor of the nearly empty apartment building anyway. I clearly heard the door open and close. Kasai must have noticed that I came home and was coming over because he wanted to talk to me. I unlocked the door and shouted out to him, "Is that you, Kasai? I leave the door unlocked for you." "I'm not Kasai-san, Shion. Hi." That voice, it's just like mine. That can only mean it's our triplet Leon. I twitched. "Can I come in?" "Sure, sis." The door slowly opened. "How do you find out where I fucking lived?" My alter ego, Mion Sonozaki, appeared. Damn it. Even after we were slowly done with the full name bit, we're still doing it full time. Okay. She was holding a box of cake. Well, smiling timidly. "Well, are you gonna keep standing there until I escort you inside? Come in." Sorry, this room doesn't look very cute. Are you look at the teddy bear! That's it has a clear aura of cuteness, okay? Sorry that everything else doesn't have a cute little smiley face across everywhere. There's a whole entire pattern of smiley faces and just some cutesy faces all across the wallpaper, the walls, the ceiling, the floors, even the windows in the glass too. Draw the smiley faces everywhere. Make everything cutesy. Well, it looks comfortable. Sis looked a bit tense and entered my room. It was her first time here. "How's life?" "My new school is as boring as I thought it would be. I usually go, but I skip classes when I don't feel up to it." Okay, you gotta go to new school though. "I couldn't do that when I was going to St. Lucia's." So St. Lucia's is really tough, huh? You should go there sometime. Sorry. "I brought cake. Let's eat." "What kind of cake is it?" "Oh, it's cheesecake!" Ah, good. Mion opened the box. I saw 2 cheesecakes there. We have the same taste in food, so we don't have to fight if we get 2 of the same thing. I chatted with her over the cheesecake. I talked to her about school and whatnot. "Well, if you need furniture, tell me." Like, get a lot of teddy bear centered furniture. Everything bear-related, like I'm a Juan Carita. "I might be able to get some for you." I finally got used to this room, but I might move out soon. So furniture won't be necessary. Thanks, though. Not that soon. You're gonna be here till next year. Dad wants me to come back home. I don't want to live with him, but he sounds desperate. Oh, actually, I went back to this apartment after the paranoia of I guess the second installment. That makes sense then, if you are going back no matter what here. He'd be pleased if you came back home. He looked lonely while you were gone. You can only say that because you don't have to live with him. Can I think of it? This was the first time I talked to Sis since I was allowed to live as Shion Sonozaki. Since I was allowed to live as myself, finally. She didn't look like how she was the Sonozaki house that day. The successor of the Sonozaki family and my twin sister are 2 different people. The different facades. Under the surface. They're 2 different people. Possessions! The demon lives inside the leader of the Sonozakis. Yeah, I know there's also that way how to approach it. Like, that's why I'm Mion also could have been, like, saying all that kind of, words and all that. Like, I'm, calling herself a literal demon by the end of the second installment. I think I forgot to mention that after all this time, but I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, but I'm, still, ghost. It's still intriguing to think about. Latch onto it. Our bodies are exactly the same, well, except for the tattoo with demon on her back. Sick. Mion's destiny as a successor was set in stone when she got that tattoo. And now we're actually like, on the topic of tattoos. There was the whole thing of like like the uncle had a tattoo. That might have just been set up for Keiichi to go and rediscover the re-look of the body just to make sure he actually killed the right person and to find out the body wasn't there this whole time. But honestly, I want to pay out for that. I want to see what I want to know what it's like. I think they mentioned what his tattoo was. Oh, I forgot right now. I need to go back and read that because now I just want to see it or just want to know about it anyway. That sounds sick. That's pretty simple. The Mion from that night was different from the Mion before me. When I was forced to turn off my fingernails, I momentarily despised her. But if I were the next leader of the family, I'd have done the same. Shion, how are your fingernails? Oh, back in perfect working order. Nice. Well, the wounds have closed. Oh yeah, also just to spite you, Shion, I had my nails painted just because of that. It's fun. Blue. And they're already going away anyway. It's certainly a different experience anyway. Well, the wounds have closed. I don't bandage them anymore because it looks too conspicuous. But my nails still look ugly, so I don't really like showing them to people. Usually get gloves. I sneered at her, displaying my incomplete fingernails. Mion grew quiet and looked down. You don't have to apologize. I mean, you did what you had to do. You just play the role of the successor. I'm not holding any grudges. I'm sorry. Okay, apology accepted. But, if you apologize one more time, that'll be cancelled. I won't forgive you for the rest of my life. Huh? What do you mean? Look, once you start apologizing, you never stop. So I'm cutting you off right here, right now. Will you really forgive me? About Satoshi-kun as well? What do you mean by that? My heart ached when she mentioned his name. It felt like just the ache of an old wound. Oh yes, the wound metaphors. I figured you loved him. No wonder I shouted out loud in front of all of you. I'm not embarrassed anymore. Well, Granny truly believes you atoned. She thinks you've done all you need to do, so the matter is finished. That's good. My pain won't go to waste then. I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to, though. Start screaming, "Get the fuck out, Mion!" My god. I started choking when I heard her say that. I just said it to her myself. I said I'd forgiven her completely. The promise instantly evaporated. Just because of what she said, I feel like I turned into a completely different person. Yeah, I think that's what I mentioned before from, I guess, the two siblings, like, a love-hate relationship. That's where it comes into play here, yay. What did you just say, Mion? Did you say, I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to? Who else could know other than you and your folks? What did you say? Well, Kasai technically knew, and he's like a small fry, technically speaking, so unless the sources are completely separate from the main family, then there's that possibility, or... Where did he go? I felt my eyeballs running in anger. It felt as though they were ready about to pop. I took in a burning sensation in my throat. Mia's expression rapidly changed. It looked like she noticed the devil's mask on my face. We are one and the same. We can understand each other's thoughts without voicing them. So showing our expressions was like unveiling everything in our hearts to the other. Sorry. Even though I told her not to apologize anymore, she apologized. I felt like strangling her. I was gonna make her confess where she'd hid Satoshi-kun. If she told me she threw him into the Onigafuchi swamp, I'd strangle her to death right then and there. I really don't know what happened to Satoshi-kun. That's a lie. It's true. Granny doesn't know anything either. Please believe me. It's a lie. Are you saying that Oyashiro-sama's curse demoned him away? There can't be a curse. There can't be. Words kept coming out of my mouth like I was chanting a spell. I wasn't speaking by my own will anymore. It was the demon who was controlling me. The demon that had been sleeping deep inside me woke up, was speaking through my mouth. The demon's hand grabbed Mion by the neck. Oh boy! You guys demon Satoshi-kun away! You and the Sonozaki family! Give him back to me! Give him back! My hand slowly but surely squeezed Mion's neck. Mion put her hands into mine. I looked at her fingers. 3 of the fingernails on her left hand looked as ugly as mine. Mion? What's this? Tears rolled on her cheeks. She didn't have to answer. She had the same scars as I did. Like, you want to mirror your sister, or you did something else? She atoned as well. Yeah, well, I guess that also makes sense, too. Like, she was helping, like, discreetly anyway, too. Well, who's, I guess, technically speaking, if it was, like, from the rest of the family telling you to do that, then who are the other two, then? Who were the other two that, like, you know, she helped, then? I can probably, like, sort of buy Satoshi being the second finger, but who's the third, then? Would be, like, Sadako for, like, making sure she's fine? But that doesn't make much sense. Huh. The way those wounds were healing looked the same as mine. So, did she get these wounds around the same time as I did? It's unfair that only you had to go through that. I felt so bad. He started sobbing. Instead, they're petrified, still wringing Mion's neck. I found out you loved Satoshi-kun. I really wanted you to be happy, because it's always only you who has to suffer, even though we're twins. It didn't come as a surprise to me that Mion might have also loved Satoshi-kun as I did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. We always liked the same stuff, even the same people. She was stupid enough to feel obligated towards someone like me. I told Granny to leave you and Satoshi-kun alone. I shouted at her. Then she said she'd let you be if you tone with sincerity. And you did. So you're supposed to live happily with him. But Satoshi-kun has gone away. It's terrible. Mion isn't smart enough to shed crocodile tears. Those tears were real. Your tears dissolve my demon's anger like how the sun melts ice. Believe me, Shion. I really don't know why Satoshi-kun disappeared. Neither Granny nor the Sonozaki family have anything to do with it. Granny forgave you, so she would never do anything to him. Mion, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you? Just a big, black ring around the neck. I took my hands up her neck and held her instead. I'm not hurt. You hurt a lot more than me, haven't you? I shouted the demon in my mind. I believed in Mion. Had been convinced it was the Sonozaki family that made Satoshi-kun disappear. But Mion denied it, while shedding tears. Between her and me, her tears are more convincing than any words. So, I had to believe in her. Perhaps it wasn't the Sonozaki family that made him disappear. So, do you really think that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? You know, I gotta say this right now. I'm getting similar vibes to that that's I mentioned before. I wrote a story around like an angst thing. I think it all the way into the second installment. Literally, I'm getting vibes of that here of really just a back and forth I wrote with, I guess, the quote unquote what was it, like, well, in this story be a demon, but in mine it was like wounds, like old wounds. It's so intriguing to me now, honestly. This is coming up now, like, vaguely now. Holy shit. This is literally just inner monologue stuff and, like, the same ideas. Similar ideas, anyway. So do you really think that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? No, I don't believe in curses. And Mion didn't do it. If it wasn't the curse of the Sonozaki family, who demoned him away? I don't know. I just know it's not Mion. It's not the Sonozaki family because Mion says so. That's stupid, Shion. You're gonna ignore Satoshi-kun's voice? I know. You don't have to remind me, demon. I can hear his voice. Wait, oh my god, are you actually hearing things now? I know he's mumbling with an ambivalent expression, like he always used to do. Even though he knows help won't come. Oh god, I'm getting so many flashbacks. God fucking damn it, no. Even though he knows help won't come, I'll help him no matter what. I'll save him if he's alive. I'll avenge him if he's dead. But Mion didn't do it. You just want to take it out on somebody. Doesn't matter who. But I'm Shion, not a demon. You're only a part of me. Don't try to take control. Fuck off. Don't ever show up again to me. The demon faded away. My body went limp. I fell to the floor while holding Mion. Shion, are you alright? I need therapy. I'm alright now, Mion. Why are we two different individuals? Why can't we just be one? Stop it. We've asked ourselves that so many times. There's no answer. I'm Shion, and you're Mion. That's just how it is. I don't care if I'm Mion or Shion. I just want to be one and equal with you. There's nothing we can do. You have the demon on your back. You're destined to become the successor. And Destiny and Fate can go fuck themselves. I'll keep saying that. And we can't change that. I don't want that. I don't need a demon. I don't want it. Well, take my demon and put it back into you, and you just expel that, exercise it all away. I'm not a demon. I'm not. I want to be human like you, or just be cool as a demon, just to keep the name. Just don't be like what the demons are technically. Like just call yourself one. Just don't be a demon. You know what I mean? The distinction. Become a monster, but not that kind of monster. Mion is a demon, and Shion is a human. Even though we're twins, there's a difference between us. Was it impossible for humans to live with demons after all? It should be possible, because they did it before. That's the legend in Hinamizawa. Humans and demons lived in harmony together. Yes, get the bonds together back again. As Higurashi-sama watched over them. Mion, Shion, the Toshi-kun, demons, humans, Higurashi-sama's curse, the series of mysterious deaths, Satoshi-kun's disappearance. We fell asleep while holding each other, while holding everything. Oh my god, it's a lot of notebook pages. What was it, the one that talked about the whole thing of the notebook page for this chapter? Payment, reconciled with a close relative achievement. So that one of the page we technically read, like a short excerpt, was from this chapter. That was in the 40s. So what are these then? 50, 64, 85. There's a whole bunch of them in between. Is it gonna skip ahead to like I guess when like Sheena's done reading Mio Takano-san's notes? Possibly. Or like these are just her notes taking on Mio's Takano-san's notes. I saw Mio Takano a few times with that. At her core, she was fascinated with bizarre, and she had an insatiable curiosity that was just as strong. I had to remind myself to take her story too seriously. Even if like all her notes actually are technically like it's verifiable. Like it's all the like documents in there are all verifiable. Just I guess her theories of the position we just can't take into stride anyway. Otherwise, I might start believing that Satoshi can disappear because of the curse. Oh, that's what you're taking it for. Okay. He talks about the dark history of Hinamizawa a lot. It's all very interesting. Her theories are based on nothing but conjecture, but some of her intuition covers facts only members of the Sonozaki family would know. She thinks that Oyashiro-sama's curse is the continuation of these ancient rituals. In other words, she believes that the curse is performed by religious fanatics. According to her theory, a religious cult once existed in Hinamizawa, and the three families stemmed from it. She believes that they are operating behind the scenes in order to revive the dignity of the Onikafuchi people, which was lost during the Meijing era. Mio Takano-san's theories are far-reaching, and looking at them on a larger scale, they end up making a lot of sense. They can't offer any explanation for Satoshi-kun's disappearance when using them in a smaller one. Your theories are just too broad. Yeah, I can kind of buy that. It works on a broad scale, but trying to put down on individual details, it doesn't... Like, it's like puzzle pieces, like, you just buy two of the same image, but, they're different sizes, the puzzle pieces. Like, one's 25 and one's, like, 100. They're different sizes and all that, and, like, they don't mesh together, even though they look like they become the same part of the puzzle. they just don't mesh well together. I exchange information with Oishi every now and then. We need to expect new leads from each other, but neither of us had any luck. I no longer believe the tip that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo. It was clearly bogus anyway. Yeah, even reasoning out of my own head anyway. Though I can't befriend Oishi, he has been fair about the deal. He alone has been serious about uncovering any new information. Oishi's sources are quite reliable, so whenever I found some dubious tip, I checked with him to see if it was valid. Did you reveal about all this kind of stuff, the notes you got about him, Oishiro-sama's curse from Mio Takano to be to him? My meetings with him have diminished in frequency since he's been assigned to new cases. Eventually, we stopped meeting entirely. Oishi stopped investigating, and I reached the limits of my sources of information. Oh. People now think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance was a supernatural phenomenon called demoning away. In Hinamizawa, they referred to his disappearance as him being transferred, and nobody would talk about it otherwise. I don't like the way that phrase is used to erase him. That's why you were sensitive about it when Keiichi brought up him being transferred out as well. It makes a lot of sense, even when we first saw him, Shion, like, Satoshi, like, me for the first time. It all made sense, honestly. Oh boy. And final notebook page for the time being. During the upheaval surrounding Oishiro-sama's curse in 1982, I was pulled this way and that by new leads in Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Every time I found information that looked promising, I kept changing my theories. That also became an incredible burden on me. Shush you, I'm doing the same thing. Don't you dare try to do this whole thing with me on this end. God damn it, don't you dare try to... Don't do this now. It wore me down plenty on its own. The fatigue was harsh. It also provided a very kind acceptance. Bit by bit, it soothed away the anger, sadness, and doubt that wore me down. I'll never forget Satoshi-kun. I'll never try to forget him and move on. I constantly repeat those to myself in my head. Oh god, that's terrible. Oh god. Oh, I'll probably go to the point where the more you want to try to talk about it, there's people who just want to forget about it. Or, like, it's still pain for them, they just want to forget, at least a tiny bit. Oh, and plus, since you're living in, like, this area, and, like, oh, since you're, like, moved back with your parents, like, your dad and all that, oh, god. And they don't want to talk about it either in some capacity, since even then, like, they think the Hojos are traitors anyway, no matter who, part of the family who's still alive. Oh, god, that's terrible. Holy shit, that's terrible. Oh, god. I repeated them, keep my memories of Satoshi-kun from fading too, over and over. For the sake of my fun memories of Satoshi-kun, together, my fear and my sadness, I repeated them, forever and ever. God, that's the way how it closes out. And since this chapter was literally just a few weeks passing from the initial disappearance, and just from these notes, that means literally, is it now like the next chapter is all gonna be the next present day? I mean, with Keiichi, are we actually gonna see sprites of him? Just to make the mood brighter, anyway. Just is it actually gonna like maybe explore one of the scenarios of the first 4 installments? Well, I guess, like, technically the first 3 anyway, since Installment 4 is practically the same, just a different person from the sounds of it. Just a different person went missing. Is it gonna do that? It's gonna be its whole separate thing. Huh. I definitely need to think about this way much more now. It's more like it was like this whole chapter is again like shifting over from giving purely information about anything happened before and now sitting out to the next part of this whole installment. Like a new, I guess you could say, arc for this installment and scenario. And it's going over to maybe more of the present day, or like she hits another lead at some point, which I think about is like oh boy. The only thing I could think of is maybe well, like, she technically dies in the 3rd installment, the 4th, technically speaking, so, What would happen that'd be important, like, I guess to see in the present day that Keiichi's perspective won't serve here, then? That be the first installment? Oh boy, actually, if it's gonna be the first installment, it like shows them Rika's died, or maybe another gas incident happened. There's always that possibility. Same way in the second installment. There's always that possibility. There is always that. Then maybe that'd be interesting to see. Huh. There's many different ways to take this. Again, like shaking that magic 8-ball for fortunes and all that. That's what it feels like right now. And again, the author is really good at shaking things up in the next as chapters go along, and also for like having good, plausible deniability, and amazing character motivations for any of those, which can go in any certain direction. Which literally, of course, it's the whole point of the whole story, since as well the characters don't know what anything's happening. It also works really well even when we get down to further and further more details. It's astonishing. I can see why people love this to death, honestly. Just gonna be a whole thing of like how almost every single loose thread and like I guess dead end will be tied all back together by the very last one, or the very least the broad strokes of the paintbrush, I guess, for the whole entire mysteries like are explained. But there's still smaller things to let them for I guess people to try to figure on their own. Since I'm just like real life, there's some things which both on some end we can never figure out, or in some ways the truth is better enough not being known. This theme I tackled before in just in my own head and just in other writings too. Sometimes just learning the truth actually makes things worse, honestly. Like, even if like you try to use it to I guess understand what actually happened. Like overcome some trauma or anything like that kind of like truth and healing. Sometimes it actually makes things worse because it's probably worse than you could have imagined. Even if like, you take in stride and like live on further, the damage is done. What how it's gonna be then? And again, so like, fate is different. The whole series is all about fate. Yet each installment is all about showing a different kind of fate, which, in some strange way, kind of go against its purpose, but like it still lines really straight in. I still have the back of my mind of like what makes things so different. Like from installments, episode to scenario. There must be some clear thread as well. There just has to be. But I guess we'll figure out whether Shion figures anything out new, or she uncovers and sees a different scenario that happens, like, from this perspective. Find out way much more for next time. So, hope you have a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope you see me next time, what time that may be. And I hope you fantastic day.